And we're back with the show. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate you being part of the broadcast here today and our continued, well, I guess, examination into the fall games. You cannot really say enough about the games this fall without talking about one of the big releases of the fall. And it's coming out actually this week. It's Destiny 2. And here to talk Destiny 2 are a lot of guys that are really excited for the game. They were a major part as far as contributing with their clan in the original Destiny, their clan in Time We Come, and check out all the various platforms as far as their streaming options that they have as far as anytime you get a chance. And I know they're going to tell you guys exactly where they are located at during the part of our interview, but I'm going to have right now for you. Well, he's very familiar to the show. It is starting off with Plazma Z with Elijah Harrison. We've also got Tristan Marengo, Vince Orlando, Sam Hardison, Justin Guevara, Alex Stavros. Hey guys, we just truly appreciate you being part of the program here today. Destiny 2, again, like I said, comes out this week. I know a lot of people are excited for it. And in the past, Josh Peterson and I have talked about how it relates as far as general consumers and general gamers feel about the Destiny 2 and actually the Destiny series as a whole. But Destiny's backbone is the hardcore players and the guilds and all the clans that have garnered together to make Destiny what it has become as far as a game to look out for with all the raids and all the great excitement that it provides. I will start with you. Let's start with Vince. Vince, I want to talk to you first about what is it about Destiny as a whole that you're excited for when it comes to Destiny 2 coming around this week? What is it you're most excited for?
I think I'm most excited for just being able to do something new again. Destiny gets super stale super fast, and Rise of Iron was a good way to mix it up a little bit, but even after maybe a month, you're stuck doing the same thing over and over again. So with a fresh game, I'm just hoping that I can get some good longevity out of it, and that hopefully by the time the first DLC comes out, that I won't have felt like I won't be like steamed out of Destiny. Like, I want continuous content. That's what I'm most excited about.
Well, that's definitely understandable because, that can happen with a lot of games where after the first couple months and first couple issues of DLC, it really gets stale really quickly. Sam, do you concur with that? Or is there something else you're particularly looking for when it comes to the release of Destiny 2?
Yeah, I very much agree with what Vince said. The game, even though I play it probably way more hours than I care to admit to, what I'm most excited for is the exotics. I can't tell you how excited I'd get every time I'd see an exotic drop. Even if it was one I didn't want, I would just, it's like a kid opening a gift on Christmas. It's like, oh, something new I can play with. I can mess around with this and see how much damage it does and all the little intricate bits of what exotics and what new quirks and perks and words escaping me, but all the new things that I could do with the new weapons and gear.
Well, I don't blame you a bit because loot drops have now become an integral part of many games in this generation, in this cycle of gaming. Elijah Harrison, who, by the way, if you haven't got a chance to listen to his great music on our PCC Multiverse show every Friday, you got to check it out. Plus also as well his stuff on SoundCloud. I tell you what, Elijah, you have been really looking forward to this game, but what is it about the Destiny series that really pulls you back in time and time again as a hardcore Destiny player?
I think game modes like Prison of Elders, Court of Oryx, there was one on Earth too. I mean, just there's so many different variations of game modes in Destiny that, yeah, what Vince was saying, things can get stale at times, but there's always something to do. I mean, luckily for all of us, we've done all of it. We've done pretty much all there is to do in Destiny, and that's why it got stale for us. But I mean, even now, I was talking to the guys earlier today, and I was like, I'm down to go and beat Crota one last time, before Destiny 2 comes out, or go back and do Siva Crisis Heroic Strikes and see what last bit of loot I can scrounge together before Destiny 2 drops. There was so much to do overall that it was just an amazing experience. So
I'm very happy for you in that sense, because like I said, to the hardcore, it seems something that really, really that resonated with the hardcore audience, that made them go back time and time again with raid after raid, that they really truly appreciated. So it's great to hear all you guys' feedback on what you're looking for with this new game. Tristan, I know there's been a lot of new features, Tristan, that are going to get players such as yourself excited for the game. And you talked before we went on the air about the kind of money you spent previously on Destiny.
Yep, definitely.
So what is it exactly you're looking forward to the most when it comes to Destiny 2? What features have piqued your interest and will hopefully have you actually buying the game outright, as opposed to visiting that red box one too many times?
Well, the one thing that I can definitely say that I'm really looking forward to is the dodge ability on all the characters. Because Destiny 1, I mained a hunter, and that was my only character. But I love that shade step when they put in that new subclass. That's the only thing I ever used. So it's nice to see that there's a dodge ability on multiple classes. And since our clan is mainly hunters, I can actually play a Titan and still get that hunter dodge, or that dodge now. So
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to being able to play multiple characters.
Oh, that's awesome. And do you like, as far as the way that you're now going to be able to shift pretty much on the fly, as opposed to one fixated character, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's awesome indeed. Like I said, it's becoming a little bit more variant. I know it got out to the gate really a little bit slow out to the gate. I know there was a lot of feedback. In fact, I spent some hours initially with the game, and it was just really hard for me to get into. But then again, like I said, it garnered such a nice hardcore audience that it really seemed to connect and resonate with them, as far as the continuous quests and the continuous raids that Destiny provided, plus also the PvP area and the Crucible and all that just seemed to resonate with those audiences. And I want to talk, and I want to ask Justin. Justin, I know you've heard a little bit more about the space venturing part of it, as far as enhancing that part just a little bit, as far as the exploration part. I'm still hoping for more someday in the Destiny world in regards to space battles, but in regards to being able to broaden the horizons of Destiny 2, how much are you looking forward to be able to explore more of the Destiny universe?
I'm so happy that they've expanded the patrol worlds. Like, they're so much bigger. I know that from Destiny 1, I know the patrols weren't as big, but I know that from going on to Destiny 2, like, even playing the beta, like, we would hop into Venus on that strike, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna explore. But like, I mean, we didn't have sparrows and anything in the second Destiny 2 beta, but it took a while to walk around in that patrol area from what we had. But I honestly, like, I just want to find all, like, the little Easter eggs and nooks and crannies. I want to find, like, for instance, like, if they even add a new loot cave, that'd be so cool. Just like throw back to the year one Destiny players.
I remember that one. That one was everybody's going wild in as far as the even casual players alike were looking for that loot cave.
I remember just sitting there with my Mida multi-tool, just sitting there, just shooting headshots all day, just hoping for, like, legendary drops or something. That's like total reminiscing. Like, that was back when I was a sophomore in high school, and I think I wasted a lot of time on that. Just sitting there.
And I don't blame you for being nostalgic on it.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I hope they add, like, since in, like, for Destiny they added the new patrol. I hope that in like future DLCs they'll add like more planets, like Mercury, like you can actually like explore like the lighthouse and stuff, but just not like a, oh, you have to get the 9 wins and oh, you get to go and just open a chest and that's it. But I hope like you can actually go and, I don't know, like just different planets, different areas, like totally just off the wall, or even just like you being able to actually control your ship while like even flying to a destination and maybe shooting things with your ship and integrating your ship into something. Because in the first one, it was just a cosmetic item for showing off. And like, I know a lot of my friends wanted to actually do something with it other than having it a cosmetic item.
I don't blame you, Ben. And hopefully that will make the strikes more interesting. And I'm hoping that this will also make the strikes more interesting to not only just a hardcore base, but also a general audience as well. And I want to ask Alex, I want to ask you, when it comes to the story, I know this has been a touchy point with a lot of Destiny players, whether or not, this is probably where it comes down to reasons where people are letting the people that are hardcore into it, that are really seriously into Destiny, have been able to look certain things aside when it comes to the story and been able to go ahead and focus on the strikes and the raids. Whereas people that were not able to really get into it cited the story as the main reason why they couldn't get into Destiny the first time around. You've seen what is coming up as far as the new story elements in Destiny 2. I want to ask you, Alex, are you excited about the new possibilities when it comes to following a narrative and a story within the Destiny 2 guidelines and storylines that they're about ready to come out with?
Yeah, I felt like in Destiny 1, at least for me, there wasn't really much of a backstory for the characters. And I think that having more of a backstory would really make it feel more memorable, and you could connect better and get on a better basis like with your character. It'd make the game more fun and enjoyable, like just overall. Yeah. It kind of just felt like when you were doing it, you were just going out and playing, and you weren't really following the story. You were kind of just reacting to whatever happened. I like having more of a backstory. That way, it just feels like the characters matter more.
Was it a big benefit when Nolan North took over the actual, as far as the voice acting, and when they redid the storyline and reshaped it and played with it and added Nolan North's voice instead as the voice, guiding you through this narrative? Was that helpful at all? Was that a big plus as far as the entire story? It made it for you as well?
Yeah, I'd say that it wasn't just helpful. Like it made the game comical. It made it funny and fun to play as well.
That absolutely, and we weren't talking about anything relating to the moon this time with us, but unfortunately, Peter Dinklage's. Exactly. So, well, I tell you what, it's some great times indeed. Hopefully, with Destiny 2. Tristan, I want to ask you, when it comes to the PvP side, is that something that you're looking forward to? Some great enhancements there, as far as from a PvP perspective. Is the Crucible something that you think will be even more enhanced this time around?
So the PvP perspective is a little interesting for me because, like us as a clan, we usually are on about 6 people at a time because we have a larger group, and it's only 4-person teams. So it'll be a little interesting, and we're thinking like, what if we have 8 people on and we each 4 and 4, and then what if we pair up together and we 4v4 skirmish each other? That would be super interesting because it's a possibility since we have such a large group of people. But the PvP aspect is really looking to change, especially with the added Titan shields and everything else like that, and the dodges and everything. That just makes everything so much more different because now you can actually drop a shield and sit there instead of having to run and hide behind a corner and get chased down and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I know, because that can be a pain, unfortunately, if something like that happens. No, I don't blame you a bit. Before I get to Sam, I know Vince wanted to interject also his opinion on the PvP as well. So I ask you, Vince, when it comes to the Crucible and that environment, what aspects of it are you looking forward to the most when it comes to Destiny 2?
So the main thing that I'm really happy about Destiny 2 is that they push towards more of an esports vibe, 4v4 combat, and it's more strategic rather than just super and grenade spam. But something that I'm hoping they'll do eventually along the line is, or down the line is, go to more of a, I almost want to say, individual player basis, like not necessarily a leveling system, but like a ranking system. Because like in year one, you can go to trials and get your 9-0 card, and then that's it. That was the main competitive point of Destiny 1, which was fun for a little while until you did it for your 5th, 6th, 7th, 25th time.
Every weekend.
So, I mean, it's pushing more of like an Overwatch vibe, but I would like something to where people are individually, I guess you can say, individually ranked, so that, like, let's say at the end of like seasons, I think the seasons would be perfect for Countdown, which is also competitive. So that, like, let's say you play for 3 weeks and you get to, like, let's say a master rank in comparison to Overwatch, and then at the end of the season you get rewards or like a loot set, a gear set that can show off, oh, I was this high this season, similar to World of Warcraft. And I played a lot of World of Warcraft, which is why these type of games mean a lot to me. So like when I played World of Warcraft, at the end of a season, I would be really happy when I was able to get the Victorious Gladiator set, which is a set that you can get for being a max rank or a top tier player in WoW. So I would love to see something like that added to the multiplayer for Destiny 2, because I feel like it would work perfectly. Something that's not too overpowered, but just cosmetically shows that you're doing something that makes you feel unique compared to every other player. Because I feel like there's not too much about that in PvP.
I understand that absolutely, because I know that's something that a lot of players also have hinted at with Destiny 2 as well. So, and I can see, you're exactly correct. I can see that Blizzard influence there as far as from the Blizzard Activision standpoint. I know that the marriage started to materialize more when it came to the promotion of Destiny, and that it wasn't just going to be just a straight up Activision, release, that Blizzard had a little bit of influence and say in exactly how Destiny was going to be running to and being portrayed to an audience. So I know that's one of the keys as why that the guilds and clans that made up so much of the devotion to Destiny originally came to be. Sam, I know you wanted to talk a little bit more about the story, and I'll tell you what, the story hopefully will be shaping up. I've seen from the trailers that it looks to be shaping up a lot better than the original. And so what are some of the aspects of the story that you're looking forward to most in Destiny 2?
Yeah, one thing that I'm very much looking forward to is obviously the more detailed narrative, like how they said in interviews that there's more story and more cutscenes than was in all of Destiny 1 combined, all 15 minutes of it. And I'm very interested to see what new lore they add. I'm a lore junkie. I'll ask these guys. I actually had, just for me hunting the dead ghosts in Destiny 1, I had one of the higher Grimoire scores for a while. I learned everything I could. I'd go on the third medium site to hunt down the Grimoire that I couldn't find, like there were dedicated raids that we just didn't take our time to find. So I'd go to the Ishtar Collective, which has every single Grimoire card archived in it, and I'd go there just to read what I couldn't find myself. And to be quite honest, I'm a little bummed that they're getting rid of the Grimoire for Destiny 2. I know a lot of people aren't, but for me, as the lore junkie I am, that just kind of bugs me a little bit.
I don't blame you on that sense, because I've heard those same kind of vibes as well. I know there's some little things that they're not doing in Destiny 2 when they're carrying over from Destiny 1. I know there's a lot of carryover that fans would like to see more of, that there's kind of a little bit of a little bit of disappointment when
the Exo Stranger. Oh, I love the interview that was given with Luke Smith. Oh yeah, I think we're done with the Exo Stranger story. And I'm sitting there going, we don't know anything about her. She's this big mystery, and you think she's wrapped up? Okay, that's a fantastic way to end that story. Thank you.
I know they wanted to. I know they wanted to move on to big and better things in their
Yeah.
opinion, but it really left a lot of Destiny players
A lot of
without
loose
that.
ends. A lot of loose ends there.
And that's not good. That's not a way to keep that interest with the audience. But it's glad to see that you're going to give Destiny 2 a chance from a story and narrative point, and hopefully they won't make the same mistake twice.
Dredge and Yor was my favorite thing. Reading all those Grimoire cards got me so hooked in the lore because I'm a Western fan. I've always played a gunslinger hunter. So reading the whole thing about Dredge and Yor and Shin Malphur and knowing that there's going to be no more Grimoire cards about them, I hope that the new show lore option has something about them somewhere.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more on that. Okay, so Allison. Justin, I wanted to ask you real quick, when it comes to the inventory system, a lot of people were talking about navigating through the inventory, hopefully could be refined, maybe set a little bit easier to manage your inventory and how you distribute as far as the different weapons and what you're going to select as far as your different characteristics are concerned. Because you can now play more than just one fixated character, what do you feel like, Justin, that really will be something that when your time playing the beta excuse me, what is your opinion as far as navigating through all that inventory, and how easy is it for you to actually get the key components for you to go ahead and actually complete those strikes and raids? How important is that to you when it comes to what Destiny 2 is going to be facing?
When I played the beta, it kind of felt the same, but a little different. Once I opened the inventory, I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing since I played Destiny 1. I know that some things that I saw with the loadouts and stuff like weapons, I saw that you can change elemental mods, and I was like really interested on that. And I was really scared that they were gonna just be able to just change whatever elemental mod you could and just use the most OP weapon or the meta weapon at the time and just change to arc burn if the strike or nightfall is arc burn at the time and just adapt, I guess you could say. But hopefully, I also saw the Luke Smith Q&A, and he confirmed that it's a one-time thing pretty much, and then you're gonna have to collect multiple weapons. But other than that, for strikes and stuff, I know, or what was it, the raids and nightfalls, there was the lockout loadouts that I heard about. I heard about that very briefly, about how when you go into the activity, your loadout is locked and your subclass is locked and stuff like that, and you cannot change it. And so I was really interested on that because in Destiny 1, there was always times where you would change your subclass, or for instance, bring out that icebreaker for long shot distances just to grind down the health of something. But honestly, for one thing that I'm really looking forward to in Destiny 2 with the inventory is the cosmetics. I've been super into cosmetics and being able to just customize your Guardian and being able to stand out from any other player. So that is the most important thing to me in any game, is just what can you do differently than other people? And I also saw the chromas they added in Destiny 1. I love that, and I'm pretty sure they're bringing that back from what I remember. But they're also adding it on legendaries from what I can remember. But yeah, I don't. It's the inventory is the same, but I don't know. There's new things. There's not much I can go off of too much, but I regardless, I'll love whatever Bungie does to the game. So it's always going to be different.
This is true. They are. They've got a loyal fan base going back, obviously, to the previous Halo lifetime, the life that they had before it. So obviously, Bungie has had a long line of success, and here's hoping that Destiny 2 will get off to a much better start than Destiny. I know I wanted to ask Alex something, but actually, Elijah, since I've got you here, let me ask you this. What are the key components of success that Destiny 2 has to do to resonate with a hardcore audience?
I think they're off to a really good start in terms of starting off with just fixing up the story. I mean, I think that was the single biggest complaint carrying over from Destiny 1 is the serious lack of story and story content. And, you know, they're kind of putting everything in the game this time versus you know, having to go and get these Grimoire cards. And I mean, even once you got the Grimoire card, it wasn't explained on screen. It was, you had to go on the website, look up the certain card that you got. And I mean, it's not even like there were a couple of cards. There's hundreds of these Grimoire cards. And, you know, it was, you got one, you got a Grimoire card, you know, during an activity, or you got a Grimoire card after being, you know, a certain quest or a certain strike, or killing a certain amount of enemies, or a certain type of enemy. You know, I think they're off to a very good start in terms of, you know, starting off with fixing the story. And yeah.
Well, I know Tristan also wanted to chime in as well on that aspect. So, Tristan, you wanted to add into what Elijah was saying as well?
Yeah. So one thing that like kept kind of pushed me away from the game for a short period of time was the reskinning of content. Like Prison of Elders was, I don't even remember what it was first or what it was after, but that whole arena system, they reskinned it 2 times, I think, or 2 or almost 3 times. And it's like, that's, you know, I'm basically doing the same thing, but fighting a different enemy. It's just kind of like, why do I want to do this? There was no plus side to it. You know, it's just doing the same stuff. It just looks a little different. And to me, you know, that doesn't make a big deal. You know, if it's the same thing, then it's still repetitive motion. And repetitive motion after a while gets boring, so you move on to other things.
I can definitely see that as well. I think that's very, very sound reasoning right there, and hopefully they'll learn from those previous issues, and hopefully, like I said, refine Destiny 2 as what you're saying, as far as being able to go ahead and modify and make those changes as well. I know, speaking of concerns, I know Vince, I know you had a concern before we headed on out. I know you had a concern in regards to Destiny 2 and some issues that you think need to be addressed.
So there's a couple of concerns, but they all tie into the same matter. One, I feel like Destiny is at this point, and it's really sad that it's there, is that where they feel like they need to have everything balanced for the same purpose. So PvP and PvE is all balanced the exact same way, and it really throws off the feeling of the game for a lot of people, myself included. And one thing that I'm really nervous for is that in Destiny 1, a lot of the tuning was centered around PvE. And it kind of took back and made PvP really weird, because that's where a lot of the super and grenade and melee spam came in compared to actual gunplay. But then the concern I have for Destiny 2 is that they're so focused on PvP that it takes away a lot of the memorable, like, the memorable feeling of just popping your super multiple times in a single strike, compared to what the beta was, where I think I only got it twice in maybe a 20-minute gameplay. And that's a huge problem. Being able to figure out the nice spot where they can balance PvP and PvE separately, but using the same weapons, is something that they really need to hit hard on. And then also, the last thing that I feel like is a big problem, or at least a concern of mine, is that so far all of the marketing towards Destiny 2 has been on story and how they're trying to make up for the lack thereof story in Destiny 1. But there was a I think it was a panel at PAX where sorry, I just totally said it right there. Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith both said that there was a point of the game where there was so much story, there was no progression. And I hope that when Destiny 2 launches, there is a story for everyone to enjoy, but also progression for the people that enjoy the grind. because I would really hate for the game to come out and there's a 60, 70, 80 long mission story arc when in that story arc you only find 10 new guns that you can apply to your character or something smaller like that. I'm personally a big progression junkie and a collector, and so if I feel like the game isn't giving me the rewards that I feel like I deserve throughout playing the story, then that's a fail to me, even if there is a huge compelling story that gets me hooked.
Well, that's definitely some good points because, you know, seeing it from your guys' perspective as hardcore players, I can totally understand where you're coming from. And it's that fine balance that Bungie and Activision Blizzard has to make in regards to, you know, how do they want to balance between a story that might engross and encapture a general gamer or a casual gamer and still keep in that progression and still keep in those, you know, the challenges, the leveling up, the grinding, the loot drops, the, you know, the inventory, the add-ons and the DLCs, the raids, and the whole 9 yards, the strikes and everything else involved when it comes to Destiny and how you're supposed to balance that. And I'm hoping, like you said, that Destiny 2 will be able to balance those out much better than Destiny 1, so that it appeals to a both bases, both from a casual and a hardcore perspective. So guys, it's been great talking to each and every one of you. But before we go and we go ahead and get on out, I got to hear from each and every one of you if you got something to plug, or if you just want to say, just some final thoughts on the game itself. First, I think Tristan, I'll start with you because I know you've got a YouTube stream that you really want to go ahead and let everybody know what's all about, and also gamer tags. A great suggestion, Elijah. Gamer tags are out there that people can go ahead and friend you on as far as from an Xbox, PS4, or whatever standpoint.
I'll just go ahead and throw my YouTube out there. I mean, I don't have a lot of videos because I've been working a lot, so I don't have a lot up there, but I'm planning on posting some new content pretty soon. My YouTube's the same as my gamer tag, so they're one and the same. It's I_BE Marengo, MARENGO. That's my gamer tag for Xbox Live and my YouTube name if you want to search it up. But that's just my stuff that I have right now.
Oh, awesome indeed. Sam, you wanted to also go ahead and let everybody know how they can get a hold of you as far as all the great stuff that you're doing in the video game world?
Yeah, sure. Like Tristan, I've been working a bit lately, so I haven't made very many videos. But my YouTube, my Twitch, and my Twitter are all the same. It's the Foxy Viking. No capitals and no spaces.
That's actually a very cool one indeed.
Thank you.
I know also as well, Vince, you've got one as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitch at radar_stunna. It's STUNNA, 2 N's, and then also on Twitter it's the same thing, and that's also my gamer tag.
Awesome indeed. And anything for Alex and Justin as well?
Yeah, I got my gamer tag. It's Gummy Bears 22. It's a GUMMIE space Bears 22, all caps. And then I have my Insta, which is just my first and last name, and then that's it. Yeah, thank you.
No worries.
And my gamer tag is Epic Toaster 44, all caps. Yeah. And then that's all I have.
No worries. It just makes my Yes Elvis Lives gamer tag really inadequate these days. And last but not least, since I've got everyone down, I cannot go without saying thank you, Elijah, for setting this all up. But I already plugged your SoundCloud, man, and if you haven't listened to Plazma Z on SoundCloud, you're missing out on something. I'm telling you right now, or at least listen to us every Friday night on the Multiverse. But Elijah, that you've got some great stuff as far as gaming is concerned, and how best can they watch exactly or get to know you as far as the gaming side of Plazma Z?
So my Twitch and my gamer tag are both the same. You guys can find me on Xbox as Kurorega. So
fair enough indeed. I'll tell you what.
Eli, you want to? Sorry for interrupting, but Eli, you want to spell that out because it's a little funky.
Yeah, that's true. Capital K, lowercase UR, 0, and then AIGA. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries, no worries. That's and I know you got it right here on the chat. So definitely, yeah, definitely. That's great indeed. And you know, guys, I just appreciate it. You know, the time that you taken, because I know you guys are all excited about what's coming up with Destiny 2. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm hoping that you guys will all experience something special when it comes to Destiny 2, and that you guys will be able to go out together as part of the In Time We Come clan and basically go ahead and kick some more butt when you're out there doing those strikes and whatnot. So we truly appreciate you guys all joining us. This has been a great interview as far as for everybody out there that wants to know more about Destiny 2, especially from you guys that really are the hardcore backbone of Destiny 2 and what Destiny is all about. So we truly appreciate you guys joining us and all of you being a part of the pop culture cosmos.